Hello, this is Ben from Gencovery, and I'm here today to tell you about how to generate automatic notes and scientific report in Constellab. If you don't know anything about Constellab, please check out our overview and demonstration of the Constellab platform first. Okay, let's go. So I'm connected to my data lab, and I want to generate an automatic report on my pipeline. So I already have a pipeline that generates some data. So for example, here I have some tables, and here I have some plots, and I want to generate automatic report. The first things to do, which is not mandatory, is to create a template. This template will be used as the base for our reports, but you can totally create a report from a blank template. So here I just create a new template. Okay, and just call it like this. Okay, so I can insert, for example, an image in my template, a company logo, for example. I can insert some texts. Okay, let's take some text here. And what is interesting in the templates is that I can insert some variable. So once you're here, you can create some variables. So let's say I want to insert my variance for my pipeline, my first variance and my second variance here. So I can select them and set them as parameters. I can set a description, so value for my first variance, for example. I can set a default value. I will not. And let me just set this one as a variable. This is not, once again, mandatory, but it simplified then how we can insert data in our template, how to dynamically insert data in my template. And I will create a new variable here, which I call plot1, which will be the location for my future plots. Okay. And here, for example, f of my template. Okay, so my template is saved and ready to be used. So I can come back in my scenario here, and we'll just add the generation from this scenario. So the first process to use is all the processes I basically name nodes, so you can search nodes. So I can create a node resource. So first, I want to update my pipeline. So I want to create a node resource. So this is to create a resource that contains a node, and I want to create this resource from my new template. So Iris new template, this one. I can set it as I set a title to my nodes, Iris results, for example. And if I don't have a template, I can still write some default template here, but as I use a template, I'm not setting anything here. Okay, so this is ready. And then I will use an agent to fill my template. So this requires a bit of Python skill, but really easy, as you see, just a few functions to use, and you will be able to fill your node. So I will connect my node to my Python agent. I will just execute this one to show you how we can visualize our node resource and to be sure it's the correct template we used. Okay, so it's running. It should take a few seconds. Okay, so it ran, and as output now you can see that you have a node resource. We can see the type here, node resource, and it's ready to be filled my variables here. So to fill it, I need to use Python agent, as I said, and for this one, I want some data from the first table, and I want to insert my plot. So I want to insert data of my table here, and I want to insert a plot here. So I need to create two new input to my agent, and I will plug my outputs of other tasks to my agent. So for example, I want to take this plot, so I will take it and put it there. Okay, so now how does it work? So we can remove this code, and you will have to use the node resource class, and I have a few other classes that are useful. So first, I retrieve my node from the input. So my node is the first input, basically. Then what I do with those lines is I take this variance table with this line. I retrieve the resource set and I extract the variance table, and I extract those two values, the first one and the second one. And now I want to insert those two values in my variable here. So to do so, it's quite easy. I can use the not method. So not resource has some method which I'll show you later. For example, the set parameter, where I can replace set a value for a parameter. So I set the name here, variance 1 correspond to this one, and variance 2 to this one. I can run my value, for example, and stuff. So yeah, we can just try this to see what it does. And it should replace those two variables, but not this one, as I didn't do anything. And as output, oh, sorry, I just realized I forgot to set the output, so it will fail. Yep, not a problem. I just say I have one output, which is my not resource. I don't have to worry about modifying the resource that is in input and setting as output, because the system copies it and it won't change the input. So don't worry, you can directly call method on your input and there will not be a problem. So okay, I have a success, so I can check up, and yeah, I've got my value here that I replaced. Nice. Then I want to add my plot. So this is a plot tree resource, and so I can easily add this plot with those line, not this one. So I get this resource, and I add the default view, which is the view we see here. Basically, I add this view to my node. So node add default view. I set my resource in which I want to use the view. I can set a title, for the plot, and I use the parameter name to replace this parameter. Oh, so it's not short one, it's plot one actually, with my plot. This parameter name is optional. If you don't set it, it will append the plot at the end of the node. And after that, for example, I can also add a simple parameter, a paragraph that tells when the node was generated. I can create paragraph title manually or with code, anything. Basically, I can add any object to my nodes. So okay, so now that it's updated, I can rerun it, and it should have replaced our parameter here. If everything go well. Okay. Nice, it succeeded. And so now I have this node resource which has the two variable and my plot, and at the end I append the paragraph, and it tells in a not pretty way when the node was generated. Okay, but now as you can see, I don't have any node here. This is because it generates a node resource here, but not a node that is available in our lab. Yeah, it's a lot of nodes. So to do this, I can use the generate node from resource. Okay, here, generate lab node from node resource. So this we create, if I just plug it, I can say output. I can override the title, but I don't want. And if I plug this, it will take the node, which is a resource, and generate a real lab node from it that is available here and that I can share with my space. And once it's done, I can share it with my space and complete it if I want. Okay, so it generates here a node. We can see that it's a different type. It's a lab node resource. And this node here is available over there, and I can assign it to a folder and save it to my space. Okay, that's it on how you can generate node. You can find more information about the node resource by clicking here, for example, you can see all the documentation of this resource and all the methods that exist. So for example, you can add headers, can add view as we saw, you can get a lot of information, add blocks. So you have all the methods that are available and what you can do with the nodes. This goes for any resource actually. You can also find this when you are on the resource in the resource info by clicking there, or in community in the JWS core library. You can find it in the technical info resource, not resource, and you have the same information. Okay, let me check if I don't forget anything. Okay, that's it for the node generation. I hope it was clear, and yeah, happy coding and have a good day. Bye.